This year, I decided to take part in the Three Rivers Challenge hosted by Three Rivers Homestead. And this is one of my problem areas. This is my upstairs pantry. I also have 3 freezers and a pantry downstairs for all my home canned items. If you found me due to this challenge, welcome. My name's Laura. I live in eastern Iowa in a small town, and I'm just getting started on my YouTube journey. If you don't know what this challenge is, go check out Jessica on Three Rivers Homestead. She does a beautiful job explaining it. But basically, the idea is to go, ideally like 2 months, with just eating stuff out of your pantry and your freezers that you put up throughout the year. And there is no rules, but there are rules. You kind of make them yourself. Mine is I'm not going to let my son go without milk or his cheese sticks. Those kind of staples that he's used to, I'm not going to let him go without that. And I'm also going to go to the store for a salad because that is something I can't grow or preserve, and we enjoy it. With that being said, I am not forcing my husband to partake in this. He works every day, so he goes out to lunch. If he doesn't have food, I'm not going to force him to do this. But at home, when I cook, he will eat what I make. Now, I will not be showing breakfasts and lunch. For breakfast, we eat eggs almost every day. We have 8 chickens who do very well to us, and I won't show lunches because that's typically leftovers. So this is dinner number 1. It was delicious, and we had leftovers. So I saw this queso recipe on TikTok, and I was like, oh, this looks great. I have everything I think to do it. Well, it was okay. I don't know if the fact that I didn't put the jalapenos in and instead used salsa, if that's what kind of caused it to curdle a little bit, or if I heated it too fast, I don't know. But it worked for what I needed it to, so it all worked out in the end. Tonight we're having chicken burritos, and so I'm going to cook up some rice, flavor it with some cilantro and some lime juice, and make cilantro lime rice with chicken and onions and peppers, and then the queso to go on top to kind of mix it in. So I didn't have any canned beans, but I did have this one bag of freeze-dried kidney beans. I know it's not the same as black beans or pinto beans, but it's what I had. And I figured if my husband wanted beans, he could use those and it'd be just fine. They were left over from when I made a big batch of chili, so I freeze-dried them just for a time when I needed them. And I figured, hey, well, why not? So kind of a guilty pleasure is Pancheros. I remember going there in high school. I used to work at a movie theater, and we would go between shows when we had a break, and I just loved their burritos. And tonight, I really wanted it, but we live about 20 minutes away from the closest Pancheros, and I wasn't about to go drive there and pay a lot of money, and obviously we're in the middle of a pantry challenge, so figured we'd make our own. We made the switch to stainless steel pans probably about 6 months ago, and I will never go back to anything else. They're wonderful. They're kind of a little bit more finicky to clean, but they cook so much better. And I also love my cast iron. We're very lucky that our son, who's 3, his name is Oliver, is not picky about food. He will eat anything and everything, every texture, every flavor. We did have an issue with him not liking donuts, which, I mean, it isn't that big of an issue. I guess if you're not going to eat something, might as well be donuts. But no, he's a great eater. He eats everything we put in front of him and makes it kind of easy. So here I am getting ready to reconstitute my beans. I just take piping hot water, throw it in, zip it up, let it sit. Only takes about 2 minutes, and you have a perfectly cooked bean with great texture. So I have made my own tortillas before. They're easy, they're great, but sometimes I just want something a little bit faster. So I found these at Costco. It's only 3 ingredients. They cook up really nice. They're nice and pliable and makes it easy to roll up. They make a great quesadilla. Highly recommend. So here's mine. Cilantro lime rice, chicken with the peppers and onions, a little bit of that okay queso, and it works on a burrito. It's fine. I wouldn't want to eat chips with it. Little extra cheese because I was sad about the queso. Little salsa and some Cholula. Wrap it up, and it was very good. Tonight, it's starting to get cold. I really want some soup, and it's been unseasonably warm here in December, so it's welcomed, but also not. So I'm going to take some of this ground beef from the butcher when we got a quarter cow and make some cheeseburger soup. So I needed celery for my recipe, but I didn't have any fresh. Luckily, I have freeze-dried celery, so I put some in a mug and put some water in it to reconstitute it. You don't have to do that. You could just put it in the pot, but I wanted to. The traditional recipe says to add diced potatoes in at this point, but I wanted to use the penne up from the other night, so I didn't do it. In hindsight, I wish I would have. It just didn't taste as good with the noodles. In the whole holiday season chaos, I had somehow bought 2 containers of heavy whipping cream and only ended up needing a little bit, and for some reason I had them both opened, so I definitely wanted to use them up in this recipe versus just using milk and then a flour. This was a leftover jar of carrots, home canned carrots that I had in my fridge that I wanted out. And what perfect way to do it other than a soup. Also got to finish off a container of my sour cream. Love when I can use stuff up and throw the packaging away. Sorry if you could hear my munchkin crying. He needs me, so I'm just gonna throw this in the crock pot and let it sit on warm until we're ready to eat. Right before I went to serve it, I did add some Parmesan cheese into it. It just added another depth of like the saltiness, and it was really good. I do prefer the version with potatoes more. Yesterday was Wednesday. We went to my in-laws for spaghetti, garlic bread, and salad. So today we're keeping it easy. We're doing part of a Caesar salad bag kit. We love it. It's delicious. It's our favorite one. And we go to Costco sometimes just to get that. I had these last 2 chicken breasts staring at me in the fridge. I really didn't know what I was going to do when I started this. I just knew I wanted to cook them. This is our favorite seasoning mix. It's a garlic and herb seasoning. We buy it from the Amish. And if we only had one seasoning to flavor our chicken ever, it would just be that. We love it so much. So I decided I'm going to bake the chicken to cook it the rest of the way through because I found a partial box of fettuccine noodles. So we're kind of going to do like a butter noodle, which is one of my son's favorites, so it works, with diced chicken. I wanted to thicken this, but without using a roux and making it super thick, so I just did a light cornstarch slurry to just give it a little bit of body. And it's kind of hard to see when I add it to the pan. I'm sorry, it was a bad angle. Just ran outside to close the door on my chicken coop and say goodnight to my girls, and I found 2 eggs, which is great for this time of year. I'm just grateful they give me any, really. I'm adding some dried parsley, and I'm going to do a little shake of red pepper flakes. I don't want it too hot because Oliver's eating it, but this was actually really good. And the chicken was so tender and moist. It wasn't dried out. A+. We're keeping it simple tonight. Oliver's having chicken nuggets and fruit from the fridge, while Daddy and I are having the leftover Caesar salad and leftover chicken breast from the other nights. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing everyone on week 2.